Hello, I'm Sandra Garlick and I'm the founder of the Woman Who Solorpeneur Awards and the Woman Who Achieves Awards. But today I want to talk to you all about the Solopreneur Awards. The purpose of this video is to give you some top tips to consider before you enter. Each year I get a lot of entries coming in which are too short, too brief, or haven't really grasped what the judges are looking for. So what I do and what I love doing is telling you how to make the most out of your entry and the whole process. I call it a hand-holding exercise. If you're new to awards or you've not been successful in awards before, I want you to have the best experience. Now, I will always say my awards are not badge collecting awards. Don't think you can just put a couple of lines in each of the questions and get a badge that says proud to be nominated. It doesn't work like that. You should be spending at least a couple of hours on your entry, even if that's going to it for 10 minutes, coming away, coming back. So the first thing I would urge you to do is note down the questions and take them offline. Put them into a Word or a text document and work on that and keep coming back to it. And Emma Hewitt, the awards partner, will always say, have a folder set up and she can give you lots of tips and support in your awards entry experience. So the purpose of this video is to go through exactly what you need to do. So if you go to the awards page, it goes through to the Enter Now page and the entry form. And this is where there's a lot of text. Now, what I know you do it because I do it myself. You scroll down to find where it says enter now and you just go for it. What I want you to do is read the blurb and watch the video and look at the frequently asked questions because they're all there to help you. So it tells you what a solopreneur is. So first of all, I need you to realize that this is for sole traders and sole directors. So if you've got a co-director or you've got a business partner, you're sadly not eligible for these awards. But what you are eligible for is the Woman Who Achieves Awards, which open for entry on the 1st of January each year. Then you'll come down to a time clock. It's a countdown and it tells you how many days you've got left. Now, the biggest mistake most solopreneurs make at this stage is they pop the date in the diary and say, oh, I've got loads of time left. I'll leave it until then. And then what happens is they get a reminder in their inbox or they see it on socials and think, oh no, it's the deadline this weekend. I'm on holiday. How am I going to do that? And they go on their mobile and they do an entry on their mobile and you haven't got all the information to hand. It's rushed, it's short, and sadly the judges can tell that they've been rushed at the last minute. So my advice to you is to get your entry in now and as early as possible, because then you get your proud to be nominated logo. You can share it everywhere and that boosts your visibility. Then there will be this video and some other videos in there as well. There's also some key dates. Now, this is really important. That's why they're called key dates. So entries close on Sunday, the 27th of July at midnight. Now, that is the school holidays. And if you're going away the first week in July, you might already be flying in the air that day. Get your entry in. The finalist interviews are on Tuesday, the 16th of September. Now, if you're announced as a finalist, and you can't make that date, then sadly you will have to withdraw at that point. You can still attend the event, you can still come up on stage as an entrant, but you can't be considered as a winner because you have to go through that interview process. The awards lunch is on Friday, the 10th of October, and we are asking for finalists to be in the room on this occasion, because what happens is if you win an award and you're not in the room, you're missing out on so much of the visibility. We want you there. We want you in the room. One of this year's winners at the awards couldn't be there for valid reasons, but they missed out on a lot of the promo, a lot of the videography, the photography, everything like that. They missed out on the congratulations. They missed out on the connection in the room and the boost that would have given to their visibility. And what we do is we don't read the winners out if they're not in the room because it looks bad and it's a bit flat and there's no one there to collect the award and it just doesn't give a good impression. And there may be valid reasons why you can't be there. We don't want to paint you in a negative light. So the awards lunch tickets are available. Early bird tickets are currently available. So my advice is to grab your ticket as soon as possible, because even if you're not announced as a finalist, you will still be called onto my stage. You will still have your photograph taken by the photographer. You will still be made to feel like a winner. Early bird tickets go off sale and then they go on standard prices. The sooner you buy your ticket, the nearer the front of the room you are. That's how it works. And I'm not selling tables for these awards because I want you to meet new people, make new connections and form new collaborations, because that's what a solopreneur is all about. You need those people around you to lift you up. So I've got some tips actually on the web page that you can have a look at. Use a separate document and copy and paste them into the entry form. The entry form doesn't save. You'll notice when you're going through the form that there are some word limits. They are maximum word limits. If you go over by 5 words, 10 words, the judges aren't going to count them. But if you go on for reams and reams, they will only read the first. They know what 500 words look like. If you just submit 50 words or 100 words, you're not maximising your opportunity. And I'll go through each of the questions shortly. So the word limits are there as a guide. It's what the judges expect to see. So if it says 500 words, 100 words just isn't enough, and there isn't enough substance there for them to read. And some people have said to me, well, I don't know what to say there. I'll go through that in a minute. But it's the stories they're looking for, the examples, and everybody has a story. Everybody has a backstory. Even if your business is new, you still have a backstory to how you got to where you are today, and your big why and your passion. That needs to come through. The judges are looking for your stories, your why, and your passion. So once submitted, you can't go back and amend it. But if you realise you've made a huge mistake, or you click submit too early, or you've thought of something you want to add, just email admin@womanwho.co.uk, because I can ping the entry back to you and you can just add to it, but not after the deadline. AI, the elephant in the room. I love AI. Chat is my best friend. He's the most amazing person. Yes, he is a he. And I use it, but I don't use it to the extent that I make it do the work for me, because it hasn't got personality. And that's what the judges are looking for: your personality and your stories, your passion and your why. As I've just said, your AI doesn't know that. It's quite matter of a fact. So even if you're using AI, put your personality into it afterwards. The judges can see an AI drafted entry straight off, especially in the financial section. Don't get AI to draft your financial section, because it just comes out with a load of verbiage that doesn't mean anything. What the judges want to see is your actuals. They want you to speak from honesty, a place of honesty. They all sign confidentiality agreements. None of this information gets published anywhere. Only your panel judges will see your financials. That's just 2 people, and they are bound by confidentiality. So don't fear. I also see it because I see the entries when they come in, but obviously I'm not going to tell anybody anything. So be honest. Don't get AI to do that for you. And one entry last year actually left the AI prompts in the entry, which obviously was a sure giveaway that AI had been used. But the financial section is the one where we see it most. And it's a spoiler, because then the judges go off the entry because they've just used AI for that. So use AI if you want to help you to structure it, but put your personality and your own views in there. Once I get the entries, they come into me first, and I skim everyone to make sure. I don't read them in detail, but I skim everyone to make sure it's what I call compliant, i.e. it's got roughly the words that the judges need, it's shared stories, it's got the financials in there, that you've entered something in every single box of the entry form. And then I send you a proud to be nominated logo. You then go onto an email list, and in a few weeks you'll start getting those emails that help you to maximize and boost your visibility throughout the awards journey. Lots of top tips, lots of information about the awards day itself. As I say, I love to hold your hand. If you're confused or not sure anything, just hit reply to an email. It's me that comes back to you 9 times out of 10, although I've got a great team. So if you email team@womanwho.co.uk, they will make sure that I see it, or hello@womanwho.co.uk. So once it's verified, you get your proud to be nominated logo, and then your journey starts. Let's go through the entry form. Now, I'm not going to put it on the screen here, but what I suggest you do is have a look at it. But these are some great tips. So it'd be a good opportunity to grab a pen and notebook, or your Remarkable, or whatever you make your notes on right now. So just pause the video. Okay, so hopefully you've got your notebook and pen to hand. I'm going to start going through the questions on the entry form. Now, if I look into the side, it's because I've got a big screen here with the entry form on. So your first name and last name, please make sure you spell them correctly. Double check this, because that's what goes on your winner certificate, winner trophy. And although we try and check them in advance, we don't have time due to the volume of entries to go out to each and every individual person. So my advice to you is double check that, or get somebody else to read it. Your mobile number, we don't use that in marketing, but it's there for emergency purposes if we need to reach you, for example, if you don't show up to your interview or something like that. Your email address. So many people just type that in and don't go back and look at it. Your email address is the only way we can communicate with you. And I would say last time, out of the hundreds of entries we received at least 10 bounced emails. That's where people had a typo in their email. So double check your email, check you've spelt it correctly. If necessary, copy and paste it in from somewhere else so you know it's right. The town where you're based, or we just need to know that really, or your town and postcode, or just your postcode. We need to know where you're based, really. It's good for our marketing to know where we're reaching, but also it allows us to connect you with other people in that area, especially when people want to lift share to the awards, because that does happen and we do facilitate that. So do pop that in. What date did you start trading? It doesn't matter when you started trading, whatever date you started, just pop it in there. We need to know whether you're a sole trader or sole director. You're one or the other to be entering these awards. Anything else, these awards are not for you. Your business name is key as well. Again, that goes on all the documentation. So it's the name you want to see on any award. If it's a limited company and you don't want the limited, you could put in something like Woman Who, and then in brackets afterwards, Woman Who Limited, because we'll just take the Woman Who, we won't take what's in brackets afterwards. Or if you trade under your own name, you might be Sandra Garlick trading as Woman Who. We'll just use the Woman Who. So it will put in whatever you want to be seen on your certificate or your winner trophy. So let's get into the good stuff, the entry itself. So tell us about you, your journey, and how you arrived at where you are today. The judges want a story. They want your backstory. And it can start wherever you like. Some people start at their school days. Some people start by saying, when I was at school, I wanted to be a doctor. I never dreamed that that could happen. And I was channeled into something else. For years and years, I did X, always knowing that my passion lied in what I'm doing now. And by chance, I was made redundant. I got a payoff and I knew this was a sign that I needed to start something that I felt passionate about. Those are the kinds of stories. Maybe you've had illness, maybe you've had setback, maybe you've had divorce like I did, and found myself as a single mum with 2 young boys. Maybe you've had to move country. Maybe you've been made redundant. Maybe you've walked out of a job. I've walked out of more than one in my time. It's all those little stories that show your resilience. It shows the setbacks, how you've overcome them, and your why. Your why is really key here. So it's the story of how you got to where you are today. That's what the judges are looking for. Then tell us about the business. Now, the biggest mistake most people make is they tell us all about the business in the first section and then they think, well, what am I going to do in the second section? So they copy and paste it. No, this is the business story. So this is about what the heart of the business is, the solution you provide to the problems your clients have. Who are your customers? What are their pain points? What are the services you offer or the products you offer to address those pain points, the solutions you deliver, the transformations that you provide? That's what the judges want to hear. The business story. If the business has won any awards in the past, whether you've got any recognition, any published articles, but there is room later on to put that as well. So it's the business, all about the business, not copy and paste off your website, please. And don't do it in the third, don't think you have to do everything in the third person. It's all about you. Speak from the heart. Speak as if you're chatting to me or to one of the judges. What challenges have you faced along the way as a solopreneur? Now, solopreneurs tend to face more challenges than standard businesses. Maybe they have the same challenges, but they have them in a unique way because we're doing this on our own. And some of the challenges, like illness, or maybe we've had caring responsibilities, or maybe we put all our money into a project or an idea or something and it bombed. We've all been there. So what challenge have you faced and how have you overcome it? So I could talk about the pandemic. A lot of people still do. It's taken till now for my business to recover from the pandemic. That's 5 years. So that was a challenge. It was a setback. Events fell off the edge of a cliff, but you can tell the story about it. So we're not looking for war and peace there, just 150 words. Next question, how do you keep going when things get tough? The judges are looking for what motivates you. What keeps you going? What lifts you up? What, if you're having a bad day or you don't feel like, just not feeling it, feeling a bit meh, what is getting you out of bed in the morning? What drives you? What resilience? What's your toolkit? Maybe you do something specific, do you journal? Do you meditate? I don't do either because that's not my bag, but I do go and sit in the sunshine in the morning with a coffee milkshake. I do listen to podcasts to motivate me. If I'm having a bad day or when things get tough, I reach out to other people in my network. I read. They're my tools, they're my strategies, but everybody's are unique. What are your tools? What are your strategies for motivating yourself when things get tough? What are you most proud of as a solopreneur? I'm proud of reaching 10 years. It's something that a milestone that not many people reach. What are you proud of? Maybe you're proud of simply starting out and getting your first customer. Maybe you've launched something recently and it's just blown your mind. Or maybe you've stood on stage and given a keynote and had fantastic response. Whatever you're proud of, share it. How do you stay visible and build meaningful connections in your business? We're looking here at what your visibility strategy is. What elements are you doing? What are you doing to stay visible? And if you're not, just say so. Say, I'm really struggling with this aspect, or I find it hard to be visible because, or I've only just started on my journey and I'm planning to. All those sorts of things. Just a short, brief paragraph of what you're doing to be visible right now. And this is the one where most people go to AI. It says, tell us your annual turnover, pound, 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 and a little about your financials. Now, my business is growing year on year by 20%. Means nothing. 20% of zero means zero. And the judges will assume that if that's what you've put. However, if you put my annual turnover last year was X pounds, my forecast for the coming year is X pounds, and I'm seeing a trend that although I had a dip in the past year, I invested heavily in my business on personal development and training, and I'm anticipating a turnover of XXX. My net profit is around X. That's what the judges want to see. If you've got all those elements in, big tick from the judges. They're not going to ask you anymore about your financials unless they don't stack up. Now, if you put, my main product is £10 and I'm going to make £500,000 next year, the judges are going to think, no, how many are they going to have to sell of that product to generate £500,000? Is that realistic? And if they go back and see your visibility strategy is, I've only just started out and I'm not visible yet, it's highly likely is an over-ambitious target. So make your figures real and make it show as if you understand them. Don't put, I don't do my financials, I leave that to my accountant. Every business owner, a good business owner, even if they don't understand financials, which I don't at all, but I know the financials in my business. I know where I am right now, and I know roughly what my forecast is for this year. Well, I know exactly what my forecast is this year. I know what I've got to sell each month, and I know what I sold last year. I know when my best performance months are and when my dry months are. I know when my peaks, my troughs. So I'm able to give a fairly good summary of where my financials are. So do put some detail in there, put some thought into that question, because if you put enough in there, the judges won't ask you about it at your interview. What are your goals and aspirations for the future? And I always say dream big and then dream bigger. Just tell us what you're planning, what's on the horizon, what you're excited about. If you're going to write a book, publish a book, release a podcast, do a TEDx, launch a new program, just pop it in there. That's what the judges want to see. How would you maximize winning an award, and what impact would it have on you, your business, and others? Now, I know everyone says, oh, shout it from the rooftops. I know that anyway. However, what would be the impact on your business? What would it do for you? Would it help you? Would it give you that credibility, that authority, that visibility that you've been seeking? What will it do for your clients? Would it give you that more increased credibility to your clients? Would your clients support you? Would your clients shout about you as well? What impact would it have on your business? Maybe you've got associates, maybe you've got employees, how proud would they be? And what impact would it have on others? Probably your family, your friends, your network. That's what the judges want to see there. Not only that you'll shout about it and where, but what impact would it have? I've given you a question that I don't normally put in, and I've put it here, and I haven't put a word limit on it. I'm being very generous this year. Is there any other information the judges need to know? Now, you can put anything you like here. This is a great place to put anything you want to highlight, any previous awards, maybe whether it's your first time entering awards, emphasize testimonials or anything there that you want to shout about. It's just an opportunity to add additional information that you might want to share, that you think is important, that you think the judges need to take into consideration. Maybe you've had an illness for the last 12 months and your business hasn't performed as it were, you wanted to. And as solopreneurs, we get that, when something hits us, we get a curveball. That's our business gone, because we may not have a team that keep going on, in our absence. So if you've had a setback or you've had to step back, maybe that's where you might want to share that, and just let the judges know what you're doing now that you're back. That's a very common thing for solopreneurs. Your website or Facebook page, if you have one, LinkedIn, if you have it, Instagram, if you have it, YouTube, if you have it, a podcast link, if you have it. Now, I'm not saying the judges are going to go and visit all these, but this year, some of my judges did. This year, some of my judges had the time to go and have a little nosy around. So if you put a link in there, the judges may visit it. So make sure it's up to date. Don't give a link to an Instagram profile that you haven't posted on for 2 years, because the judges will take that as a negative, especially around your visibility. How did you hear about the awards? That's for me. I need to know where my marketing is reaching. We've tried something very different this year. For the first time ever, I've used Facebook ads just to see what our reach is on Facebook. So if you could put in there for me where you saw where did you hear about the awards, whether it's LinkedIn, social media, Instagram, whether it's an Instagram reel, whether it's an Instagram story, maybe you've heard about it from a friend. If so, name the friend. If your mentor or business advisor has recommended it to you, share their name so I know, so I can say thank you. That's what that's there for. That's my source tracking. And if you don't do source tracking in your business, it's a great tool. Then I confirm that I'm a sole trader or sole director. Now, we do go and look on Companies House. If you're a sole director, we will go and check that you're a sole director, and you will be disqualified if you're not. So please make sure that you do tick that. And then I confirm I'm available to attend an online judging interview on the 16th of September. There is no alternative date. There are no alternative times. They start around 9:30 and finish at 3. We fit in with school drop-off and pick-up times. We can have some flexibility if you've got something in the diary already, but odds are you probably won't have anything in the diary. Now, here's the thing. I've had people attend their interview from Asia, from America, from Europe, in fact, worldwide. I've had people attend from a corridor in a magistrate's court. They were a magistrate, by the way. I've had people attend from a cafe, from a hotel, from a restaurant, by the pool. You can make time for a 10-minute interview with the judges wherever you are. So if you're on holiday, it doesn't disqualify you from attending an interview. All you need to do is find a great Wi-Fi connection and somewhere quiet if you can. Because nobody knows you and your business better than you. Why miss out on a great opportunity just because you're on holiday? So that's it from me. And then all you do is submit your entry and I've told you what happens next. So I hope that's been really helpful for you. If you've got any questions, email admin@womanwho.co.uk or team@womanwho.co.uk. Take care and good luck with your entry, and I'll see you at the Solopreneur Awards.